Good afternoon, everyone. It's Father Neil. It's Thursday, June 10th, with my weekly video update. First, the good news about the COVID abatement procedures. So, the state will be reopening tomorrow, as will the city, back to phase 5 or full reopening. And the Archdiocese has given us the go ahead to do that once we figure we can get the procedures safe to do that. So, what that will mean is that we will not require masks of those who are vaccinated, and those who are not vaccinated will strongly suggest that they wear a mask, although we will not check for that. There'll be no capacity limits, so the church will be entirely open. If you are not vaccinated or you feel uncomfortable around others, you'll simply social distance, and you can wear your mask and try to physical distance for a few feet in the church. We haven't had the overflow yet, so with a full capacity, that should still be possible. And so we will not need registration. We will not need the volunteers. We will have hand sanitation available, hand sanitizer in the vestibules, and recommend that you use that before coming in. So some other minor changes. All the updates from the Archdiocese COVID Task Force are going to be on our website. They'll be in the bulletin, and they're certainly on the Archdiocesan website. And I believe there'll be a link to that here as well on this video. So that's really good news. However, because there are a lot of people who don't get the bulletin, and it won't be issued obviously till next weekend because it'll be next week's bulletin, and because a lot of people will not watch this video, we don't want people to be surprised. So as soon as the guidelines came out, I did a consultation with all of our reopening safety team, parish council, and staff, and the recommendation was to announce the changes, but they'll be effective next weekend, June 19th and June 20th. So for the current week, we're going to keep those same limitations in place, that people are registering and people will show up. So that will be as normal, and that will give us some time next week to rearrange the church, put the missals and all that stuff back in the pews, open it up, get rid of the signs, etc., etc. So we'll work on that next week. So it is good news that we are able to that back to full reopening. Obviously, that doesn't affect the school, which is now out for the summer. There will be some guidelines coming out in the fall for the school reopening next year. There may be some mitigation procedures for that. So we hope everything will be going back to normal by the end of the summer, and then for our normal activities in the fall, and that's a good thing. I did meet with Father Robert this morning. He also was with us on last night for the parish calendar meeting, and to honor his wishes and to make sure things get figured out properly, we're going to leave our schedule the same all the way through July with the Mass schedules, and he and Father Brendan will be working out that schedule for who's going to be here when. But we won't add any more Masses. With full capacity and lower attendance in the summer, we should be fine. But that will give Father Robert and Father Brendan a chance to get a little acclimated to both parishes, and then we'll work on adjusting the Mass schedule. And in the interim, also the Unification Committee will start meeting to discern what the combined Mass schedule will be, starting perhaps later on in the fall. So for now, we'll still be St. Robert's in our Mass schedule. St. Constance will still be St. Constance in their Mass schedule. We did have a meeting this afternoon with Father Robert about how we're going to go about consolidating some of these things, and it's a long-range process. So, but rest assured that once this Unification Committee is formed from both parishes, there will be plenty of opportunity for feedback, town hall meetings, surveys, whatever it is, so that all of you will be included in the decision-making process, and the groups will get back to you and then back to the main group and Father Robert for those decisions. So that's all very positive. I simply ask that everybody be patient with one another, because it's a difficult time. Transition is one thing, it's difficult. Father Robert is not, he'll be new into our parish and certainly new back into St. Constance as pastor. It'll be new for all of you, and so it'll be a very difficult time for adjustment, and that's when we're supposed to be the most patient in spite of the hurt, and also to try to be the most understanding, because we're kind of feeling our way, fumbling our way forward. So those are all good news things, so that's important to keep in mind, if you would. And so those are the major things that are happening. Obviously, with my transitioning out in a couple of weeks, it will be all new. But in the meantime, we're still continuing to do what we're doing. Weddings on Saturday, Father's Day blessing, next weekend, all those good things. The last day of school was this week, so we're now working on the teachers are getting ready to leave for the summer, so beginning working seriously in the school on cleaning and getting things ready for next year. Do we move things back from back to normal in the classrooms, also in the hall and all the rest of that. So we are working on that, and we did make at the meeting last night, as I said last week, the spread group from OLB will be joining us, and we've worked that out in the schedule so that everybody can be accommodated when we go back to the full routine in the fall. And Father Robert was at that meeting, and he's fine with all of that. It's just going to take him a long time to get used to all of that, and then which meetings does he go here and St. Constance and all the rest of that. So again, as we enjoy the summer and enjoy the reopening, I'd ask everyone to continue to be safe, to continue to be tolerant of one another, and to respect the fact that not everybody's in the same place. So some people are still afraid, and so wearing a mask when it's large crowds, whether it's in the church or in an enclosed space, out of consideration for others. We don't need to wear them we know everybody and we're vaccinated. So prudence, I guess, is there's no hard and fast rule on this, but prudence and compassion for others. Same when you come to church on Sunday. It's so important that everybody feel welcome and comfortable, even if their comfort level is perhaps not yours or mine, and they perhaps have some ungrounded fears. Nonetheless, it's been a tough year and a half since COVID first came out, and we do want to move slowly together to make sure that everyone feels part of the community, not just what I want or you want or someone else wants, but how can we do this all together? That's the most important virtue, really, is compassion. And of course, Jesus' prayer was to pray that all will be one as he is one with the Father, and that really is the key phrase for all of us through this difficult time. And so there are differences of opinion, but we can disagree without being disagreeable, and we can work on compromise that will work for everybody. But in the meantime, until next week, have a wonderful week. The weather's very hot, so enjoy yourselves. I think the ballparks are reopening, the public parks are reopening, museums and so forth, and restaurants. So again, as we go out into those venues, know it's probably going to be crowded and a lot of people are going to be there. And so simply enjoy yourselves, but also exercise caution and compassion and civility. So God bless you all, and until we catch up this weekend or next week, God bless you all and have a wonderful evening and a great week ahead.